For today's video, I'll be sharing 10 reasons why I believe that keeping aquariums can improve your quality of life. First up, and the main reason that I personally got back into the hobby, is that keeping aquariums allows me to disconnect from technology. In today's world, most of us spend a lot of our time working on computers, socializing through them and getting our entertainment from screens. While there are parts of the aquarium hobby like research and content creation that do involve technology, for the most part you can simply sit back, watch your tank and enjoy it without a device in your hand. Personally, I like to do my aquarium maintenance on Sundays, and I really appreciate those couple of hours spent trimming plants and doing water changes as a refreshing break from my screens. The next reason I think keeping aquariums can improve your quality of life is that they let you express your creativity. Everyone focuses on the aquascaping side of the hobby for this one, but a basic planted tank still lets you get creative with different plant covers, shapes and sizes. You also have rocks and driftwood that can play a role in your creativity, and then you have various fish, shrimp and snails in a wide range of colour that you can choose from to complement your plants. I've recently decided to try my hand at aquascaping a couple of tanks, but ideally I would prefer to try and find a way to make an aesthetic Wallstad method tank setup. Trying to build out a low-tech ecosystem while making it look as good as possible is more in line with my goals for my aquariums moving forward, and it is something I want to do. I'm fully aware that that type of setup won't look as good as a high-tech aquascape with injected CO2, but it's just personal preference and it is something I want to get more into next year. Next, let's talk about the customization of aquarium keeping, as you can easily tailor the hobby to fit your preferences. There's plenty of approaches like aquascaping, which emphasises plants with the fish playing a supportive role, or the fish keeping side of the hobby where you focus on the fish and the plants are more of a backdrop. I'm also a big fan of shrimp keeping, which focuses on building vibrant colonies of colourful shrimp in their little shrimp tanks. Now this next one is less common, but I've even seen people on YouTube publish videos on their snail tanks where they collect rare colours of ram's horn and mystery snails. With all of this, you can choose between low-tech setups like I prefer, which use cheaper lights, filters and avoid CO2 injection to keep costs low, or high-tech setups that use expensive equipment. There's also the nano tank side of the hobby, focusing on smaller fish, and then there's the monster fish keeping side, which centres around huge fish. My point is that almost every aspect of the aquarium keeping hobby can be customised to suit your needs, allowing you to truly make this hobby your own. This next point will depend on your preferences, but unlike some hobbies, fish and shrimp keeping offers plenty of budget-friendly options. For example, I'm a big fan of shrimp jars, which are a cheap and easy way to set up a shrimp habitat. I'll include some links in the video description on how I set these up and how I get the shrimp to breed in them, but it's far easier than people think. Then there's something like my pearlweed jungle tank, which I currently use as a shrimp tank, but I've seen other people keep bettas, guppies and other species of fish in them without issue. I link to the setup video of my pearlweed jungle in this video's description, as this type of tank is surprisingly cheap and I honestly think you can do it for under £100. Now options will be limited if you are on a budget, but it's still an affordable way to get into the hobby and enjoy the other benefits mentioned in the video. Next up, and this is a big one for me, and it's that solving problems in aquariums gives you a real sense of accomplishment, and there's plenty of challenges to tackle. Regular viewers of my channel may know that I've had ongoing issues with my orange Neocaridina shrimp tanks, but they've finally started to breed and things seem to be going in the right direction. I honestly believe the issues are more related to that particular line of Neocaridina shrimp, as my cherry shrimp, yellow Neocaridina and Bloody Mary shrimp have all been far easier to care for. That said, finally seeing females carrying eggs in the orange shrimp tank did give me a huge sense of accomplishment. For those new to the hobby, there's plenty of beginner-friendly setups designed to minimize problems, but as you advance in the aquarium keeping hobby, you can overcome different obstacles and take on more advanced challenges. Another important aspect for me is that keeping aquariums provides a connection to nature, which aligns perfectly with the Aquarium Co-op slogan, "Enjoy nature daily." Whether it's fish, shrimp, snails, plants, or even the tiny little organisms that thrive in your tank, you're essentially bringing a piece of nature into your home. In today's modern world, where a lot of us have fewer chances to experience nature firsthand, aquariums can be a great alternative. You can even combine your tanks with potted houseplant keeping and terrarium keeping to deepen that connection with the natural world. Next up is the breeding aspect for the hobby. Personally, I feel a stronger connection to creatures that I've bred in my own tanks, and I've seen other people report the same too. So far, I've focused on breeding my shrimp colonies, but next year I am planning to try my hand at breeding my Medaka to see how it goes. My Corydoras and Harlequin rasboras seem to spawn a lot too, so I might try and remove some of their eggs from my 40-gallon tank and see if I can get them to hatch. I know breeding is a big draw for a lot of people in the hobby, especially when it comes to the more challenging species, as it ties back to that sense of accomplishment that I mentioned earlier in the video. But if you don't want to breed your fish, that's an easy path to take as well, and until recently I haven't been breeding any of my fish. I've noticed a few other fish tubers releasing videos on how keeping aquariums has positively impacted their mental health. With mental health issues on the rise, it does seem that caring for aquarium animals and plants can provide some relief. Personally, I find that sitting and watching my tanks at the end of a hectic day helps me unwind, so I do believe there's something to it. One often overlooked aspect of the aquarium keeping hobby is the sense of community that it can offer. Many cities have fish keeping clubs that you can join to go out and socialise with other people in the fish keeping hobby. In addition to that, there's also countless online communities dedicated to various aspects of the hobby that you can join if you want to stay on the virtual side of things. If you're fortunate enough to live next to a specialist store like Horizon Aquatics, which is around 40 minutes from me, then you can go to the regular workshops and meetups that they host too. So if you are more sociable and enjoy connecting with like-minded individuals, then there's plenty of opportunities in the aquarium keeping hobby to engage with others. Now, I've intentionally kept this point until last because I know that it's not for everyone, but in this hobby there is always something to learn. This can range from learning about water chemistry or substrates or plant nutrition to fish or shrimp or photo periods for your tank, as there's always something new to learn. I personally love reading and watching videos and continually expanding my knowledge, which is a big part of the hobby for me. As I mentioned earlier in the video though, there are some very simple setups that you can do if you are a beginner just looking to set up your very first tank. Anyway guys, that brings the video to an end. Hopefully it's been helpful. Thanks for watching and have a good day.